Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Theory Restart video. So in today's video, guys, lots of progress on the free to play. Lots. I have every single shell dungeon unlocked and clearable, even Rango Kutsu Hell. So that means that we are able to get Codex of Magic. This is a big deal. This is really going to speed up some of the farming for us, even though farming already on the shell dungeons is not bad. But the Codex is going to be important going forward for sure. For things like Inferno dungeons, once I eventually get there, I still think that's a ways away. But we're coming up on 2 full weeks, so 14 days, and we're already in Hell 2 of Terramaton and Dokyoki, and we can farm all shell dungeons on Hell. So to recap, I've been very, very impressed with the DPS support on Leon and Gray. Like those two characters can get you up to the point that you need. I haven't relied on any other DPS other than those two characters. Now, I have Sybil, the rare hero, built for Aurora because I do think that she's going to be very, very important in that area. In the meantime, by the way, I am just farming up a bunch of Shadow Flame Hoyon because I need Jackal Guards. Once I have Jackal Guards, I'm then going to transition into farming Rango Kutsu because Fortissimo is going to be really, really strong on our Sanya. And then Count, I think, is going to be the best in class shell for Leon. That's theory, though. So, yeah. So, big upgrades. Uh, Hell 2 farming has been very, very good to me. I think it's been super fortunate that the double drop is here because I've only 1-star Doki Doki and being able to like utilize the ×2 stamina uh, to essentially have like uh, ×4 drops has been really crucial for getting Swift Rush pieces. That's been a big thing for my account. Getting Mythic Swift Rush pieces, even though they're two piece matrix sets, just go a long way. And the nice thing is even progressing onward into the free to play, whenever the triple matrix drops start dropping, 2-piece Swift Rush sets are still going to be okay. Because I'll still be able to do like a 12-8 matrix set with the 12 pieces being like momentum and then Swift Rush being an 8-piece set. So I'll be able to utilize one or two of the double matrix pieces on the Swift Rush pieces. So let's recap on some of the prowess materials and upgrades we've made. So Leon is now 554. I've been so impressed with her damage output. I think once we're able to eventually build like a 12-8 piece on her with Onslaught Harvest, I think Health 3 is going to be quite achievable. But I'm really impressed with these type of stats here. So 4,000 attack, 242 crit damage with a 90% crit rate. Like, not bad. Not bad at all. Also, on the White Fang, we have Shadow Dash on here instead of like a crit damage roll or a crit rate roll. This is really important to allow for us to eventually take off a crit rate piece here. Like going forward, I think for Health 3, Health 4, we might end up building someone like Dorothy the Wisher, which will really allow us to increase the damage output on our Leon because she has the crit rate buff here. And as you know, we get the innate 15% crit rate against positive elements. So then we can build just 55% crit rate on our Leon and just stack a bunch of attack and crit damage. So we can get rid of this crit rate piece, and then we can get rid of the speed roll and put crit damage there as well. This amplification roll can be better. This final damage dealt is okay. I think we're going to transition, like I said, more into the count, but her prowesses are almost done. I don't know if we're going to lattice this last part just because I really want to start latticing the skill one on the Ling Luo because we're going to start breaking into Aurora. So our Sybil is level 50. We have some prowess materials for her, but before this 2x is over, I'm going to farm up more because, like I said, I need her and Ling Luo to skill up. So I'm gonna need a couple more of these pieces. I can upgrade these pieces by taking away from the purple pieces, but it's gonna eat into it. Our gray is fully latticed. This is so necessary for this challenge because I can't use any SSRs. And outside of gray, there are no AoE uh, green damage dealers. There is a blue AoE damage dealer in Rin the Unbowed, but I haven't pulled her. Uh, so we've done a couple things. We have the prowess fully done too. I used some of the animus, like the dupe animus items that you can do in the shop here, the animus shop. I bought one of the grays so I could get that last prowess. I'm debating on buying some of these other ones as well, but I'm waiting for Ling Luo to come in here and I'm going to buy that. You can't buy Leon in here, I don't think. The only way you can buy Leon copies is here or get them from Union by putting her up as, your Union assist. So I'm going to get one copy here and then I'm going to use all of my summon shards to fully prowess the Leon too. So that's one of the things I'm looking at here is can Leon be your main DPS for basically all the shell dungeons and Terramaton outside of something like Nico Nana, where Sybil ends up being a really good budget option where you don't need the Leon. But if that's the case, I'm going to do a full recap of this free to play after I've cleared Inferno stages of all of the shells and all of the thresholds. Because if Leon is able to do all of that DPS, like I've almost completely latticed her up in less than 14 days. So it might be the right approach to fully lattice her and use her for all PvE content. And then you can pick and choose whoever you want to lattice up for PvP. The thing is you do most likely need to lattice up the Ling Luo for her skill 1 on Aurora. But the nice thing is Ling Luo is like a top tier PvP hero. And the skill 1 is the most important thing for her to have skilled up for PvP anyway. So it's kind of like a win-win. But yeah, I'll have a follow-up there. So Gray, fully lattice, like I said. I haven't latticed Ling Luo yet, but she's next. And I've started to lattice up our Dinah as well. I think she's going to be really crucial for speed clearing and maybe even like cheesing some stuff. I say that loosely because the game incentivizes you to just have huge amounts of damage output to clear content instead of like slow rolling it and tanking it down. So, yeah, I've decided that I think we need to skill her up because we can't use Kloss. Remember, this is just a double SSR challenge. So I think she's going to be really crucial. So I have started to skill her up. Valerian, like I said, already skill 3. The Kachi, red Kachi, skill 1 and skill 3, fully latticed. We'll eventually lattice up our Sonya. We've put a little bit into her. The revive, we reduced this skill to reduce by 2 turns if she ends up reviving someone. So she loops back around to it. This is only relevant for something like Dokyoki. It's not very good for Terramaton because once Terramaton kills one person, it's kind of like a wipe anyway. The Vice is fully leveled. I don't use him much right now, but he's going to be very, very key for later stages, for Ember Trek, for Rengokutsu, all of those things. So that was kind of just a premeditated, like, okay, I know I'm going to need him. Let's fully lattice him up and then we'll move on. And then our Viper is latticed on his skill 3, and then his skill 1 has 3 lattices into him, which is where I'm going to stop because I got the speed on him, which is really important. The 2 stacks of serpent skin is going to be relevant whenever we get to Inferno, but as of now, it's not super important. There is a case to be made to lattice up this skill 1 and skill 2 of Kazuyo for Doki Doki. She's still only 4-star, but the important thing for her is just that skill 3 being fully latticed. So, yeah, those are kind of the updates. Everything else is kind of just sitting stagnant. But we have a clear path forward. We're just farming a bunch of Shadow Flame Hoyon because I need like 2 or 3 Jackal guards to really get me into Hell 3 and Hell 4. So that's all I'm doing is I'm farming this up consistently, and then I'm just waiting for reset where I can get more of the lattices for our Sybil, and then we're going to start taking on Aurora. So we want to try and get up to like Hell 1 in Aurora, uh, or even Hell 2, because Hell 2 is where the momentum set starts dropping. Even though it's 2 pieces, the crit rate is pretty nice, and I have some really good shells on our Sybil for the Revelation shell, where we need some of those momentum pieces. Yeah. So I'm going to show you just the Terramaton team, and then we'll get out of here. It's 11 minutes, so maybe I can show the Doki Doki team as well. So this is what I've been using, and in all honesty, the turn order is kind of off because the Dinah is going after the Leon, because Leon has the speed rolls on her skill 3 prowess now. But I always target the left head because between Gray, Leon, and Dinah, with their shells and their damage output, we can kill that left side head before it takes a second turn, which is really important because he does a lot of damage. So there you go. And if our Dinah went before the Leon, there's some possibility that we would have got even better damage output, like out of the skill 2 there on the Terramaton or the skill 3 when we first used it, and maybe even took out that left side head earlier. But yeah, this is like it's a quick kind of farm, which helps with some of the gear. But I'm really not going to be farming Terramaton until we start farming Health 3, because that's where you get the triple matrix pieces of Keen Eye, and Keen Eye is going to be a really important set as well. It's just a very consistent high output damage dealing set. So yeah, 1 minute clear, which is awesome. Also, all of the outstanding gear, I'm trashing. I'm not keeping any of it. Uh, so any of the modules that haven't been upgraded from an outstanding piece, like I will sell all of these. The ones that I've already upgraded, if I can put them on some random characters or whatever, like for random events, I will, but I'll eventually get rid of those. So this is the Hell 2 Doki Doki farm. We're just using Kazuyo and then a bunch of support with Gray. So we do need to slap on a shell to our Kazuyo here. Let's put on the black card, and then we'll go in and I'll show you this farm. So, yeah, the Kazuyo puts up the sleep, and then Gray does really, really impressive damage. I've always been impressed with Gray early on, even on my main account. But on Hell 2, once he is fully latticed up, he loops back around to his AoE every 2 turns. So he does his crit rate up, big defense down, AoE, then normal attack, and then the same thing, crit rate up, big AoE. So there's the first one, and he gets a 25% turn meter boost. There's also some merit for him being on Jackal Guard. It's just they don't have any of the like damage dealing sets on Jackal Guard, right? So you'd have to run him in Swift Rush. He wouldn't be ignoring defense with like Harvest or anything like that. So the second wave is where things are a little bit interesting because you need to loop back around to the Casio. And this is where Jackal Guard would be a huge deal because you would get a 25% turn meter boost on your Casio. So she'd loop back around a lot faster. However, this does get the job done. We have tons of insurance policy here with the Sonya, Ling Luo, and the Valerian. So you got big shields, you got cheat death, you got the revive from uh from Sonya. But even though it's a slow going thing, uh it's very safe. So this is where the 2x was like really awesome. Okay. Now once you loop back around to the second Casio, it's almost a guarantee. Because now the gray is going to do a bunch of damage on his next AoE. So right here, he'll do some really awesome damage. So almost take out two of the minions there. And once we're down to just that main minion, it'll be a wrap. But I haven't seen this fail, even with the RNG, which means between the Sonya and the Ling Luo, we just have way too much healing and fail safes to really worry about this. So yeah, it's kind of just constant slow progression, right? Slowly farming up some okay mythic pieces. Once we have some good substats on them, we start leveling them up. And once we have the shells, right? Because we just have a bunch of characters without passive rolls on them or anything like that. That's whenever we're going to be able to jump into Hell 3. And then Hell 3 is going to be the key because that's when you can get the triple matrix stuff. So this is a bad piece because it's flat attack. But yeah, those are the two farms. Once we're able to farm Hell on Aurora, we'll jump back in and we'll show you again. But in the meantime, just farming up a bunch of shells, getting our currency. There's no reason for me to keep epic shells at this point. So I go in and I just recycle all of them, try and get as much training data as I can, and then eventually level up, like the next Jackal Guard. And then we'll put that on our Casio and so on and so forth. So once we get to this point where it's leveled up, then we just start rolling passives. Whoa. Okay. I don't know what that is. Abandon? Okay. I guess we'll keep the defense. We're trying to roll for speed here, right? Speed's the most important thing. Not great, but we'll take it. It's now usable. Anyway, guys, that's the updates on the free to play. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Catch you on the next one. See ya.